Well, we'll see. Okay, let's come through to Restream.
I've not had any errors yet.
Restream seems to be getting it through. And we'll wait for Twitch has now took it live. Check the audio. Restream seems to be getting. Yes.
Nailed it.
Okay, let's come through to Restream.
I've not had any errors yet.
Restream seems to be getting it through. Right, where's the noise happening? Oh, there. There we go. It's because I don't know. Okay, yeah, and it's worked for YouTube as well. YouTube's got it as well.
Fantastic. Well, it says here online and sending data, so.
Yeah. So that's annoying. If we've got it every single bloody time, that's going to be very annoying.
Do they not have is it not? Do they not have the two options for YouTube like before?
No. Well, so YouTube updated and put this new studio in for like live ends, which is what I've been using the last 3 or 4, and that's all be using the same settings. But then Restream it just disappeared. So I think something else has happened back end.
Right.
Maybe at YouTube's end, the back end that we don't see. Anyway, who knows? We're here. Got audio coming through. People can see us. What more could they possibly want?
For us to disappear?
Well, you don't have to watch us, to be fair. They're not forced to. Unless I know in like the internment camps in deepest Russia, they're forced to watch us. But and I've seen our favourite friends in North Korea do that as well. But over here, you know, they all don't have to. So, good evening, I'm TheSuffolkRam.
Skazz.
Well, so 149 of the Randers podcast. You're not going to be amazed by that one, Skazz, because normally you are.
Well, yeah, I thought I'd change things up. I'm actually terrified that we're nearly up to 150.
I know, isn't it scary? 150 episodes.
I know.
With an average episode, well, actually, our average has gone down because we've been a little bit more piffy and getting to the point more and less waffle, and we've got away from our 3.5-hour marathons we used to do.
We can start waffle if need be.
Well, yeah. You know, when your podcast is longer than a Lord of the Rings film, you've had to ask questions about it, really.
Hey, ours is more interesting than a Lord of the Rings film. Hard fact.
Ooh.
Shots fired. Come at me, bro.
Definitely. Yeah. There's less battle scenes in our stream, unfortunately.
Yeah. If there were, though, if we had more, they'd be better. And
I know we're going to get the CGI character, but I hate to say the CGI version of me you've got on these streams is pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but hasn't quite got that je ne sais quoi that makes him me. And that's for your CGI character. I don't know what went wrong there.
Well, you know, what can I say? They took one look at my face and everything broke. So
just get the Gollum model, add a beard and a bandana, and we call it good.
Yeah, that's it. It's fine. I'm like a reject Muppet. Oh dear me. So, how are you this fine evening, Skazz? I'm alive, mate. I mean, I thought the whole world was going to end, and I'm recovering quite well from my first live stream in a long time.
Yes.
Which you took part in for a little while yesterday, you traitorous bastard. You never came back.
To my tea.
And tea finishes at some point.
I had my thing open and my Steam thing said you guys didn't go back in, so I didn't come back.
Because you went away, and so we were like, well, fine, fuck it, we're going to change games then. This sucks. Ram's a traitor. We can't do this ourselves. Every other mission we've tried to do, we've stuffed it. We need Ram to go, look, you and you go over there. Don't cause too much trouble. I've got this.
Yeah. Or like on yesterday's stream, Skazz, I need you to sacrifice yourself for the good of the crew. And the team.
Go for it. Go.
Go first. We might pick your body up later.
So, fantastic. I'm there. Don't worry about it. I got this. I felt
very much. You know, if you watch Blackadder Goes Forth, you know the scene where the general's he's on the phone and he's talking to the general and he's like the no man's land. He's just like moving the troops. The next scene is him brushing dustpan, brushing all the troops off the battlefield. It was very much like that in many ways.
You're talking. So the mission that we were doing yesterday, you're talking about when we were trying to get the warheads.
Shall we tell people what game we're talking about?
Yeah, sure. So for Rand Nerds game night, because I've not really been gaming all that much recently. We started playing one of Bard's favourite games, Payday 2.
Turns out it's quite good.
Yeah, I don't understand. What was Bird's beef with it in the end? Because he stopped playing, didn't he? Like he
Did
said
he?
It was something. Yeah, he said there was something really like they'd done something to it, and he wasn't happy with it, so he stopped playing it. And
I noticed when I looked through, because you can now go on Steam, you can actually look at review history, and you can see, and if you go for this quite interesting, you watch it, there was a massive dip in its reviews, which gives you basically somebody who's been review bombed effectively.
Right.
And looking back from when I saw Googled like that month and Payday, I think they introduced some sort of microtransactions or something to this game.
Oh, right.
Then they pulled it back out. It was a few months ago when I looked at that, so I can't remember exactly what it is, but they introduced something, and I think they pulled it back out. So maybe that's what Bard was talking about.
Maybe. I mean, I just assumed it was shite tons of DLC, but I mean, it's not actually that bad, really.
No,
it's not necessary.
DLC,
It's all cosmetic, isn't it? Or what it seems
there's
to be.
quite a few missions. There's
really?
a few missions. Yeah, there's a lot of the DLCs like missions and stuff. If you actually look through it,
Oh, right.
I mean, there are some pretty shitty ones. Like there's an H3H3 DLC, which I'm not sure why anyone would want that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm not sure why would you want to play as Ethan from H3H3? I'm not quite sure.
Because YouTube fan-tardness.
Yeah, that's like why you know if you think I'm not going to add that to my DLC bundle.
Where's the Ran Nerds fucking DLC?
Yes, why can't we all want to be able to play as us?
Could you imagine that? Me, you, and Zaber rocking around as me, you, and Zaber.
What would your mask be, Skazz?
What's my face, clearly?
Yeah, but you've got to disguise it. So what would you choose as your mask to cover your face?
Oh, see, I'd want to wear my Army of Two mask, but I can't.
Well, why not? It's called the Army of Twice.
There you go. They'll never know. They'll never know.
The Army of Deuce. You can tell what mask I would have.
Oh dear.
Obvious. I had a sheep mask.
I was surprised. I was surprised you weren't wearing, because there is a sheep mask in the game. I was surprised you weren't.
If there is, I ain't got it.
Well, you're gonna have to get it. We're gonna have to shoot more people then. Or
I'll
maybe
have to.
it's probably a stealth unlock. We'll never get that.
I'm currently wearing what's basically a Cyberman mask.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, it would be. Silence of the Lambs. Think about it.
Sneaky stealth mission, says the wife. You're never gonna get it.
No, we have tried stealth.
It doesn't work. I tried stealth with Zaber, and Zaber's like, "Don't worry, I will go in here and not cause any trouble at all." And bless him, he tried, and within like a few minutes, everything went wrong. It was great.
Can I point out the mission where we had to perhaps what we got to, let's just talk what Payday 2 actually is. So for people who are new to it, it's basically Left 4 Dead, but instead of zombies, it's cops and robbers. So you play up to 4 players in your crew, and you have got to basically. It's a variety of heists, and once you get there, they could be anything. I'm actually quite impressed at how different they all are.
Yeah.
So you got a single one could be like robbing a bank. It could be stealing art from a gallery and so forth, or even just like raiding another gang's base. And you can either go in sort of quietly or loudly. Stealth is an option. Usually it's an option you try and fail at. But then basically once the alarm is raised, not if, once it's raised, then basically you get hordes and hordes of police. Just constantly
hundreds and hundreds of them just
we
keep on
worked
coming.
out one mission we played, I think on the last mission we played on Tuesday night, which was the one we're going to talk about in a second. We must have killed about 700 police officers in our mission.
Oh, was that the one where I blue screened and I got really angry because I got like no points for the entire mission and I'd murdered hundreds of people. I was so disappointed.
That was the one. That was the one. Then we worked out about 700 police. So this is the most well-equipped police force because most of them are SWAT. Most well-equipped police force in the whole world. They can afford to send that many people in to take out 4 guys.
Now, what I reckon is it's World War II Russia syndrome, where they're getting civvies. Look, run up to him and take his gear and try not to get killed.
One man has the SWAT mask, one man has the shield. One man has the SWAT mask, one man has the shield.
It's like run.
Yeah.
And then we mow them all down.
We did. So a mission which we were playing the other day was where we demonstrated our perfectness of stealth. That we, for some reason, had to go to some guy's house, and we're going to try and break and steal like a printing press roller. And the guy had to start with, we were disguised as, I think, plumbers. And we went and talked to the guy, went downstairs. So there's like you got two modes. You've got casing mode, which you're like all stealthy. Then there's what they call like heist mode, where you sort of like put your mask on, you draw your gun. And as far as away, you can't switch back. I think once you go to heist mode, that's it. You've got it.
I don't think I've seen an option to do that.
Yeah, so we go down, he leads us downstairs to where the pipe is leaking, and I'm sat there thinking, well, we need to do some replastering here. We're going to take that wall down, sort of like, I'm trying to get
that was fantastic. You practically got your builder's bum out and we're going,
yeah, fair. It's like,
it's going to get expensive.
It would be great at the end of the mission. It's like, well, we repaired the wall, and you're like, but that wasn't our job, we're there to steal the thing. Oh, yeah, of course you were. I forgot
just imagine that. It's like,
I just did a good job.
I've also fluffed the pillows on the sofa and...
Yeah. So we were downstairs. We and Zaber sort of broken stealth, as it were. To sort of, I say, bro, we weren't covert anymore. We're hacking into this thing. We sent you upstairs to distract him. Zaber thought this was a good point to throw a grenade. And
he did that by accident.
Did he now?
That was fantastic.
Did he now? Because I can tell you, it's quite hard to throw grenades by accident.
Oh, I've done it. I've done it a couple of times.
Yes. But accidentally.
I love that. Sarcastic air quotes. Accidentally.
Threw a grenade. And then, because the fact that he started laughing as he threw the grenade, I think betrays that a little bit.
No, that is just traditional Zaber. That is like, oh shit, shouldn't have done that.
And then basically it all went to pot. And then basically you guys basically did the mowing down. I basically became like this whole team hack. And I was just going around sort of like printing the money and like hacking everything, sort of like babysitting all the sort of hacking tools and everything like that, where you guys mowed people down and
had to be done. It's an important job.
I mean, the game forces you to like, you can't just like haul up somewhere because the game will throw like they'll shut the power down and the power will be outside, so you have
your tools
to go
will
out.
Break, so you can't just set them and forget them.
Yeah,
you have to
tools also you could haul up where your tools are, but they'll do things like that. They'll force you to have to leave and go out and restart stuff and so forth. I have to say as well, the companion AI is pretty darn good.
Yep.
I don't think I've ever got a situation where I've been frustrated by it.
If you don't fill a full team, they basically fill the empty slots. So if there's only like say two of you, they'll fill it with two AI. I think that might actually be an option to turn those off.
Yes, you can.
Which is insanity.
Yeah. But they are good because they'll make a. They've definitely got programs so that if you go down, they'll make a beeline for you to revive them.
Yeah.
Now I'm pretty sure. I think I've seen the AI get killed.
We have.
You have. I was wondering because I think actually can the AI go down? I was wondering if they're basically invulnerable or they're just better than us.
I think they can die because I'm sure there was one mission. I think it was the heist where we had to to get the bike. The AI tanked it.
I think you might be right now. You say that. I think
but it was right at the end. We were already stuffed, and then the AI was like and then down it went.
It is fucking intense. It is. Yeah. Once it starts, the shooting starts. It is just constant. It is just wave after wave after wave after wave. And sometimes you'll say like, "Oh, the police are backing off. You've got a chance." No, they fucking don't. They'll leave all their. They may stop sending waves in, but the ones who are there stay there.
Yeah, for sure. So you've got like literally the opportunity to clear those guys out. You've got a little bit of breathing room if you manage it.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, you have to click mission. Now, if you go down, it's not like death in this game. What happens is you get arrested.
Yeah.
And you get sent to custody. So the first few times you go down, if someone revives you, you come back on, but there's a timer. There's like 30-second timer where you go down, which gradually counts down to 0, and then you get arrested.
Yeah.
After so many times when you go down, you automatically get arrested. I think it's after 3 times. You just get arrested, you go straight to custody.
Sure.
But again, proving how ineffective this police force is, they negotiate. He negotiates your guy who's to like look after you. He negotiates for your release. And after 3.5 minutes, you get released and put straight back into the firefight, which they initially arrested you at.
It's fantastic, isn't it? Such a
It's
nice
amazing police.
force.
It's very, my sister's watching. She says, "Do you think on the Monday morning after your heist, they had the meeting? Go, do you know what? I think we're doing something wrong here. This doesn't seem like this is working very well. This whole let's give the criminals back to the people who are having the fight and just start shooting us again. You know, let's give them all their weapons back. In fact, let's give them full health and full ammo.
Yeah,
Let's.
why not?
Do you think there's sort of meetings going on Monday? It's like, well, can't work out why crime is so high in this city.
Because reasons, obviously.
Yeah, I think though once all you guys get arrested, though, it's sort of like unless the AI is quick to revive you, sort of had it.
Yeah, I think it.
So like,
Yeah.
it seems different because the bank one we did, the AI sort of took control for a while, but then we did do one mission where we all went down. And
I think
was that when the AI got killed?
was
That's when we lost the match.
Was the bank just a normal mission though? Because I think the bike one was like hard, very hard.
The bank was hard.
Oh, okay, cool. I don't know.
So we've played normal and hard. So normal, so basically you get a skull rating for each mission. Normal is 0 skulls. Hard is 1 out of 6.
Oh, wow.
And it goes up from there, yeah. So hard is actually basically like just one up from easy,
Sure.
effectively. And the bank one we played was hard. Normal tend to be shorter missions, so they're good for like the end of the night type job. You pick them up, but hard. But I mean that one I said the one where I think the bank one lasts us nearly 45 minutes. So hard is a good sort of it is intense because it's just constant. Once that gets going,
but in fairness, though, we didn't exactly have any gear or boosted stats or anything like that. Because as you go through the game, you unlock money. Or you earn money to unlock gear that you can use in your next heists. You get experience points that you can then use to put into various skill trees, and they can be like, you know, give your entire party a 25% increase in recharge time and stuff like that, or decrease in recharge time. Give your entire party more armor. Give your entire party more health. Stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I've specialized more in the technician route, which means I'm better at like drilling things now.
Yeah, using all the tools and stuff.
Yeah. There is one path which I've not over with, where there's a path where you can actually have a deployable turret. But that place, so at the moment, we tend to go in. You and Zaber tend to carry med kits. I tend to carry an ammo bag.
Yep.
The turret would be handy, but I think we need the med kits more.
Yeah.
So, but because the turret does actually use your ammunition as well when it's firing.
Sure. Okay.
So that's sort of like, but I might eventually sort of, as we get better armor and gear and weapon and armor and stuff, perhaps
we'll
look at bringing the turrets into play. Because we're pretty good, but we do go down quite a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
But it is a really fun game. It's a game I've been trying out for a while, and it's such a fun game. I mean, if you want to have all the DLC comes about 80 quid for all of it. So it's not cheap, but then
it's not terrible, is it?
No, and the thing I was going to say, this has been over the course of like 10 years.
Yeah.
So actually, it's not that big a deal. We think over 10 years, like £8 a year.
Yeah.
It's not actually that horrendous.
So I imagine it was probably more expensive when it all initially dropped, but
yeah, it probably was. But you know, even it's looking back, it's like there's a lot of content for. I guess. I mean, the only thing I dislike about it is the lobby system is frankly too complicated than it needs to be.
Yeah, it's not. When me and Zaber went in, we couldn't. So when we tried to play solo, when that was yesterday, we had no idea what the fuck we were doing to try and get into a mission and how to pick a mission. It was all very like, oh, it's all rando, and you know, missions appear on the map and then they time out, and then a new one will turn up, and you're like, what the hell have I got to do?
So what you have to do is when you go into you get a map appear, and missions will start to appear on the map. But when you go into a crime mode, if there's a player name above them, it means somebody's already claimed it, and then you can join their lobby.
Sure.
So if you want to have your wave, you have to wait for a mission to come that no one's claimed yet, click on it, and then you go into it, and then you can set up the lobby, which you can then invite your friends into to join. It is utterly one of the most convoluted ways I've seen of actually getting people in.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
also-
you can set up a filter to say friends only, and then it gets
You
rid of all the
can.
people
Oh
with
yeah,
their
yeah.
names.
But you have to join. You have to basically claim that mission first.
Yeah, and then you invite everyone.
Then you set up all your filters and your settings, and then you set the lobby up. I would say like, yeah, it's a nice idea. It's really. I see what you're trying to do, but frankly, just let me have a button that says create lobby, and also because you obviously have to try and wait for the mission.
Yeah.
Just give me a drop to say select the mission, set the difficulty, job
Yeah,
done.
because often the entire map is full of missions you don't want to do.
Yeah, or then say, I mean, the other day when we were playing it, I went into it and there were like loads of insanely difficult missions.
Yeah.
They're just like loads of missions that were like three or four skulls. Like, well, we can only just about handle the 1 skull missions. I'm not going to chuck us into a 3 or 4 skull mission.
Yeah, for sure.
So I was looking way around it, and eventually I found one. I just had to accept it because it's the one I could find.
Mm-hmm.
So that I don't like the lobby system. I think that's I can see what they're trying to do, but it just feels more a hindrance than a help to it. But no, really neat game though. I've really enjoyed it. But
it's been pretty fun. I just
it's
find that the UI is a bit jank. When you're in a mission, it's fine, but when you're, when you're doing anything else in the game, not great.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not horrendous. It's not. I've seen far worse. It doesn't explain things very well. I mean, it's quite amazing how customizable everything is. So the only thing you can't change once you're in the lobby is your character.
Yeah,
that you have to pick from the main menu. But once you're in the lobby, you're fixed. But you can change your marsh, you can change your outfit, you can change like what gear you have, you change your weapons. The weapons are so customizable.
Yeah, put on silencers, scopes, extended magazines.
And different types of scopes, different types of silencers.
Yeah.
And, there's so much you can do. So, I mean, I've customized my gun. I've got a scope on it, because you know me, I like scopes.
Yeah.
I've put on it a muzzle thing that's all like increase my recall. I've got a thing on the magazine, which means I reload magazines quicker.
Yeah.
I've also put on it a laser sight and a flashlight, which I can toggle between.
Yeah.
So, which is handy because when you fire from the hip, the laser sight makes things so great to fire from the hip.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really neat. There's so much customization you can do to it. It's just gives you a couple of games that's been around a long time.
And you unlock stuff as you beat missions too, don't you? So, you don't actually have a whole hell of a lot to choose from at the start. But as you beat missions, you have to pick a card. Like, they give you 3 cards or whatever, and you have to pick one. And that will then say, like, hey, you've unlocked a new skin, or you've unlocked a new gun, or... I think that's how they work, isn't it? Or is that an optional extra? Is that a bonus item?
You get bonus items like that. From what I understand, you unlock certain things by completing missions.
Sure.
And you unlock stuff by simply ranking up.
Oh, okay.
So, because if you go on any of the items and click it, it should tell you what you need to do to get to it. And a lot of them are just, you need to get to this rank and you'll get it.
Sure.
Some of them are DLC items. But we picked up the classic bundle, which was like another £12.
Yeah.
Which was basically, and that's just a shed load of DLC in that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And that's unlocked a load of stuff anyway. So it's quite cool. I mean, there's quite a variety. I mean, there are some things I do question, like there's sniper rifles in there, and frankly, I just can't. I've not played a mission yet where I think myself a sniper rifle would be really handy. I think you'd be. I could just.
No, you are right. Maybe on that the mission we did with the warheads. So you're using your sidearm for a majority, and then as we're trying to get the stuff back, you could have held off the officers as we were trying to drive through.
Maybe. I don't know if you can equip I don't know if you can equip SMGs, secondary weapons. If you could do that, then a sniper rifle as a primary becomes useful because you can then have something to contribute. But a pistol really isn't good enough to help mow down because there's so many tight confines. I've just not played a mission yet where actually if there was a mission where like somebody could like sit at range with a sniper rifle and like guide the other 2 in and give them support, I could see that. But I've certainly not played one yet that makes me think that'd be a beneficial use. So as much as I like sniper rifles, the maps just seem too small for it.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, like the one you're talking about, that would be handy in some places, but frankly, my assault rifle with a scope on it dealt with most of the snipers anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like I don't really, and it's more useful up close.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Because you just know the Cyber's going to give you probably about 20 rounds of ammunition. Because they always do. They think it's so overpowered they can't give you hardly any ammo.
Hmm.
So yeah, but yeah, other than that, a really neat game.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it was well worth playing. I mean, I've had it for absolutely eons, and I've never even
Same.
watched it. So
Same. I think we all have because it was insane. But it was all in our libraries.
yeah,
Which is why I picked it. Because like everybody, we already all own this already. So let's go for it.
it's fun. It's neat. It's well worth playing.
Well, we'll definitely do some more. I think.
Yes, for sure.
I'm happy to carry on playing this for the time being. So you can join us on our game nights. That more details later on in the podcast.
Magical.
Cool. So, other games are playing. So, I mentioned last podcast, Skazz very kindly gifted me a copy of Half-Life Alyx.
Which, let's be fair, Ram very kindly gifted me a VR headset. So,
Oh, swings and roundabouts. So, Half-Life Alyx, which I've been playing bits and pieces here and there the last couple of weeks. And yeah, so far I've really enjoyed it. I'm probably about 3/4 of the way, 4/5 of the way through it now.
oh, so you've not finished?
No, I'm very close in. I'm on the last. I checked today. I'm on the last. I was thinking of finish it today, but I got back from the farm quite late because I was hoping to I thought I was hoping to finish about 10 o'clock this morning, get back to 10:30, 11:15, and then have a good session. I didn't get back to nearly 2 o'clock, so
Okay.
I put the time. And by the time I got to the stage, I was happy to start doing stuff again. It was 4 o'clock, so I only had an hour and a half. So I'm playing it's all hour to 2 hour chunks here and there.
Brings me into a question. So, Half-Life Alyx has a lot of movement options for VR. What have you chosen for your movement option if you're playing it in 2 hour chunks?
So there are 4 options for movement in Half-Life Alyx.
Mm-hmm.
Normal, I think they call it blink teleportation, where basically you pick somewhere, your screen goes black, you come back in, you're there, you've moved to wherever you've jumped to.
Mm-hmm.
You've got fast teleportation, which is where you point somewhere and you actually move really quickly to it, you actually move, so you see yourself move.
Sure.
You've got analog control movement, so strafe, forward, back, and it's locked to your headset. So basically, it's mouse look. Because your head in VR, your head is basically the mouse.
Yeah.
In VR games, so that's basically what it is. It's wherever you're looking is where directly. So you point forward. If you turn your head left, you'll start going in that direction because you're always moving forward to where you're pointing, like a mouse and a keyboard.
Yeah.
You've then got hand. I think it's called hand movement. So basically, wherever your hands are pointing, is the direction you're moving.
Okay.
I tried all. So I thought, right, because I've always had issue with motion sickness in VR. I was like, right, I want to go this motion sickness. I want to enjoy the game fully, so I'm going to go over it. So I initially started with teleportation, and I actually found it really awkward moving about because
I hate teleportation in VR.
Yeah, it's why I used to. It works for games that don't require lightning reflexes.
Yeah.
Or just rapid movement. It doesn't work for games where you have to be able to take cover. Because top of teleportation, you have to think where you're going to go.
Yeah.
And you have to place it as well. So if you want to get into cover quick, you have to stop, aim. It wouldn't be so bad if it weren't like in Dishonored, where it's times all slowed down and froze for a second while you did it. But when games where it doesn't, you're that's a bit awkward. So I thought, right, I want to go over my motion sickness. So in the end, I switched to the wherever your headset's pointing. I tried both, and it just felt weird, the hand one. But over the course of last week, I've managed to basically get, as you called it last week, your VR legs.
Yeah.
And so I don't get motions anymore. I'm
fantastic.
Yeah. When I first sorted it, it was I got used to just moving around, so forth. Once I got to combat and I was having to move more reactionarily, I did feel a bit there because obviously you're not thinking about when you first be okay, I'm going to go forwards now. Ready? Here we go. Forwards, overs. When you're on combat, you're strafe left, strafe right, back off, forwards. That for a bit, but over time I've got used to that to the point where I'm playing and I don't even think about it.
Fantastic.
I'm just moving around. Yeah. So yeah, that's been
so there you go,
fantastic.
folks. For anyone that it does get pretty nasty motion sickness, if Ram can beat it, I'd say
yeah. So it took, I would say, probably to get over it properly, probably took about 4 hours of gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
And what I did was, I play a bit, use it. As soon as I felt the slightest bit, I stopped, took it off, relaxed about it. So, sort of like so rather than pushing on and make himself sick, which then of course psychologically you don't want to do it again.
Yeah.
So I feel, but I'm just going to stop now, relax. After I do that for 2 or 3 times, I basically just got over it. So try it. But interestingly, you still effectively have teleport in it. Because to jump, there's no jump button per se. What you do is use the right analog stick. The right analog stick, you basically look where you point it. It basically puts a pair of like feet where you're going to jump, and you can use it to jump onto things. Effectively, but when you do it, you then sort of like do this fast moving up. So effectively, it's a fast teleport.
A-Tech has something like that in it too, so you can run around with your sticks. And then there are, odd moments where you're like, here's an area that you can't normally get to, but we've got this magic suit on, which is why you've got magic teleportation skills. You can actually tele past certain objects.
Yeah.
Which is...
the intention of this is just as a jumping system. This is how you're going to jump on things, you aim and things. But I use it effectively. If I want to get out of dodge quick, because you're faster than just moving, so I just quickly use it to jump my way around things quickly. So I'm sort of using a combination motion with it.
Sure.
And then you guys go. So game is set prior to Half-Life 2. You'll play as Alyx Vance, who is basically for a large chunk of Half-Life 2 and episode 1 and episode 2 is like your companion. And she's probably the first sort of AI companion I played with who didn't annoy me too much because she wouldn't like badger you too much. She would keep up with you. In AI companions, either you leave her behind.
Yeah, don't get me started.
Yeah. So I think they made her move they spent a lot of time trying to make her not annoying when they're programming her. So they made sure that she moves at 1.5 times the player speed so she can keep up with you wherever you go. Because obviously players tend to move in ways that NPCs don't.
Yeah.
So they're able to move out. So they made it so she could run 1.5 times to keep up with you. And she does teleport.
Oh, there you go.
Well. In fact, all the NPCs in Half-Life teleport. The little trick they used to use in speed ones for Half-Life 2, if there's a physics object in the way of an NPC, they just teleport to where they need to go, so they don't get stuck. Because obviously in Half-Life had lots of physics in it, and you could block NPCs' ways. So what the speed ones used to do, when they had like an NPC used to like walk down a corridor, to open a door, they'd hold a can in front of their face, and they just teleport to the door.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah, it's a little trick. So you're playing as Advance. So you're just sort of in City 17, sort of at the start. You start off like on a balcony of a rooftop. You're under Combine occupation, so it's all like in the middle of high occupation. And your father, Eli Vance, with the help of a guy called Russell, who's like he becomes your man in the ear, talking to you what's going on. They discover what they think is basically a new super weapon for the Combine. And shortly after this, Eli gets captured because they obviously Combine realise what they're doing and capture this will take him away. So your initial mission is to basically go rescue Eli. You end up meeting up with Russell. Russell's the one who equips you with the Russells, which are basically the game's version of Gravity Gun. And it's basically what most VR games have the telekinetic ability to just look at someone, pick up your hand. A lot of games have that in there, yeah. That's basically I can't quite reach it, or I'm going to go into my Guardian mode. The Russells are basically that, the gravity gun, so you can grab stuff. You can grab stuff midair. That's basically what they do. You do a little flick of the wrist, and you pick stuff up. It took a while to get the hang of it, because it's like you have to like flick your wrist to flick it towards you, then grab it. Yeah. But after a while, you just do it. It's just naturally, just like point at things, just flicking your wrist and grab them.
Sure.
So that's also seen before. And then you set off to rescue your father. The actual game, it feels weird to use the term first-person shooter in a VR game because you are the first person.
Yeah.
You're not going to have I don't think there's going to be many third-person shooters in VR games out there. I can't imagine there's many out there, if any. But it actually plays more like a survival horror game. If I've actually heard people describe it, so it's as a horror game more than a first-person shooter.
Okay.
Whereas in Half-Life, you're basically a walking army. You know, you've got a machine gun, you've got a rocket launcher, you've got grenades, you've got a grenade launcher, you've got crossbows, you've got pistols and magnums and several different types and all these weapons. You probably about 10, 12 weapons in normal Half-Life, and you've got your armor, so you're basically a walking tank.
Yeah.
As was the sort of the notion at the time when
that was very much the thing in shooters, that you were like one geezer, you could carry enough guns to make the average, platoon limp.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but Alyx isn't like that. You know, she spends most of Half-Life in a hoodie and jeans, so that's her armor. So she has no armor.
Okay.
She is fairly weak in terms of how much, it doesn't take a lot of shots to kill you. And throughout the game, there's only a total of 3 weapons in the entire game.
Oh, right.
Yeah, a pistol, a shotgun, and a combined submachine gun.
Oh.
So the pistol's also the one you get right at the start. And every enemy, even like the most basic enemies, are really tough. So zombies, the famous headcrab zombies, will take probably 4 to 5 direct hits from your pistol to like their vulnerable point to kill them.
Yeah.
And your pistol only holds like 10 rounds, so that's a half a mag. It is quite neat that the guns are sort of dependent somewhat realistically. So when you insert a mag into the pistol, you have to cock it to load it.
Okay.
And then if you fire and so forth, and again, unlike like in normal Half-Life where you have like this sort of automated ammo system where you can just reload as much as you like, it tracks the clips, as it were. So you can only reload
if you have like 4 bullets in a clip and you've been off that clip, you've lost that.
You've lost them. Yeah. Yes.
Interesting. I like that.
Yeah. So and you can't pick up you can't reload a half-empty clip into the gun.
Ah.
So yeah. So basically, you want to use up a whole clip. Now, but it does properly realistically do it so that if it keeps one in the chamber, so if you use a clip and leave one round in the chamber, eject the clip, and then load a new one, you don't need to recock it because there's one in the chamber to fire, which is really so firearms actually work. And that makes it so you do sort of, when you use it, try and sort of listen out, because it gives you like 2 tones. It's Valve are very good at making sure the games give you all the information you need. They don't make it super overt. So, like, the gun makes a slightly different tone, makes a tone when it's empty, and it makes a tone when it's got 1 round left.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're listening out for it, you hear the tone, you know to stop firing, eject your clip, put a new one in, you won't have to recock it. I'm terrible at that and always end up using all the gut shot rounds up because I'm just not listening for it.
Sure.
Same with the shotgun. In a shotgun, you have to load it. You have to. Shotgun's quite cool because you have to sort of it's like what I would call an over and under shotgun. So you sort of like lift the whole sort of like top levers up, and then you load your shells in at the top, and then put it down.
Sure.
But you close it up by sort of swinging your wrist back.
All right.
And then, but again, you have to cock it as well. So you have to pull the cocking lever and cock the shotgun. Combine rifle doesn't work like that at all because it's an alien weapon.
Mm-hmm.
There's no cocking lever. You literally insert a clip and it's ready to go. But that sort of suits it because there's no weapons to use. You can modify weapons. So throughout the game, you'll pick up this stuff called resin, and that's used to upgrade your weapons. So you could do things like, for the pistol, you could put like a holographic sight on it, and when you put that on there, it means it will basically, when you put it over an enemy, it will basically highlight every enemy has like vulnerable areas.
Yeah.
And it will highlight them. I mean, some of them are quite obvious. So like headcrab zombie, strange enough, it's the headcrab that's the vulnerable area.
Really?
And combine, it's the heads that's all for the vulnerable area. But some of these will actually have like a second area, which if you get a couple of shots on that, will basically kill them really quickly, and they'll kill the head crab. I actually don't find it's worth doing that because they're usually quite a small target. And ironically, the zombies are probably one of the worst things to try and shoot in the game because they tend. So there's 3 main enemy types. You've got zombies, you've got the combine, and you've got antlions. The zombies, by far, in my opinion, the worst. So combines, because combines and antlions, combine soldiers, when they sort of move about and so forth, their head tends to stay quite steady because they're like aiming their guns at you.
Yeah.
So it's quite easy to track ahead and shoot it. Likewise, the antlions, their vulnerable points of antlions are their legs, and when you shoot both legs off, they just like lift up their abdomen, which will explode if it gets near. But if you shoot it, it'll explode like miles away. Or of course, when outlines see they run towards you, their legs stay roughly in the same place, so it's really easy to get a bead on them and shoot them. The zombies, because they do this like stumbling motion, once they walk, they sort of like almost fall over every time.
Yeah.
Which means their head is like bobbing up and down quite a long way, like half their body length bobs up
So
and
you've
down.
basically got to really get a timing down for it.
Yeah.
You can't just kind of lock in place. Like in ATEC Cybernetic, I can just literally kind of... I don't even have to aim as such. If I tilt my gun... like if I have my pistol to my chest kind of thing and then just tilt up as if I was going to fire up towards my nose, but at the enemy, I'm almost guaranteed to get a headshot.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to be zombies of a sort too, but they just literally run at you. So it's just like, well, I'll just keep my hand here, pull the trigger, and everything's going to die because it's going to path directly into me.
Yeah, they are. Before I had the actual like proper sort of red dot sight on my pistol, and I just had the iron sights. The easiest way I found to dispatch the zombies was to run up to them and actually put my pistol like pointing down right on their head and shooting rapidly at them.
Yeah.
That was the easiest way I found to deal with them, because if you're shooting down, you're almost guaranteed to hit them.
Yeah,
and you're going to almost hit them in the head, which felt wrong to just run up to the zombie and go like some sort of gangster.
No, I get it. Street crime,
really
son.
Yeah, it felt really wrong, but it was the most effective way of doing it. Like I said, enemies are fairly tough, but I said the outlines, which are quite low in the game, and obviously meant to be sort of the higher tier enemy to face, I found a piece of piss. Because you can literally take them out in 3 hits, because you take up both the legs, they raise the abdomen, which they'll try and explode in you, and you shoot them and they explode, they're dead.
Yeah.
And they're all fairly easy. I mean, the section I played through was when they first introduced the antlines. They didn't hit me once. I did not lose a single piece of health to an antline.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they were like points of like 5 or 6 of them at me in one go. Because I just like could jump around, just like get into the arenas and get a distance between them, shoot them in the legs, shoot their admins, off they go, dead. The zombies caused me far more trouble. And the Combine, their soldiers are just tough.
Right.
You know, you have to hit them in the head. There's no going for boys shot. It's interesting actually, because this game, I don't know who they've designed. Whether I'm the average gamer, they did a very good job of that. I'm almost always out of ammunition. I'm always on the crossbow looking at my gun thinking, I ain't got a lot of rounds left in this. And there's no melee attacking, so if you run out of ammunition, you've had it.
Yeah.
So you're always on the cross. Again, that's why I say it's more like a survival horror game, because you're always constantly having to worry about ammunition and being careful. You're not just going to run. You can't just run and gun it.
I have seen clips of people having to they go into a flat or a house or something like that, and they start kind of moving their hands around shelves to kind of push things out of the way to scavenge for any little
Yes,
oh look, here's a couple shells from my shotgun, or
yeah, you do
stuff like that.
You do. I've been doing that as well, because although to be fair, they don't often hide stuff. In my experience, it's usually if you look, you'll see it glow. The stuff that you can pick up that's useful to you glows a bit.
Yeah.
So it's not, if you look, it's there. Occasionally, I'll hide it in boxes and stuff, but most of the time, it's pretty obvious if it's there. So you don't have to do it that much. But there's something quite. There's always something quite nice about VR where you walk up to a shelf and you just get your hand, just swing out, and loads of things go flying off it.
Now, question then, because Half-Life Alyx was obviously designed with the Valve Index in mind, with the knuckles, which kind of have individual finger tracking. How does that function on your Rift S?
Like any other Rift game, so you have you're
literally got your 3
thumb,
fingers and then your index finger and your thumb.
Yeah, and it works fine. They're quite good at. They've got some quite sort of neat things in there. So, if it's one bit, I discovered this purely by accident. So there's a bit later on where you come across a character and they're like in a panic situation, and someone and it's like if you think about they're about to sort of die and you're going to lose them. Even though they're in later games, so you can't lose them. And Alyx goes, and I went shit, and I immediately put my hand up to my mouth. The reaction. And in game, she puts her hand up to her mouth with like a
oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's actually a mechanic later on, because there's a point later on where you has got a stealth section on it, but I have to say it's a really well done stealth section. you're basically up against this blind, mutated zombie, and he's invulnerable, but he's blind, but he can hear really well.
Oh.
So you're having to sneak through past him, but there's like loads of things that like sort of emit gas if you get in and you start to cough. But if you put your hand to your mouth, you won't cough.
Oh, that's clever. So
you have to sort of like constantly sort of walk around. And apparently it was I was reading from the true page that was sort of almost done by accident.
Oh.
They found the players just started to do it automatically, and they added it in as an Easter egg. They found that everybody, all the places just did it automatically.
Mm-hmm.
Their automatic reaction was to put them out to stop them coughing. So they added it in as an actual mechanic. And that's a really intense section. It's not very long, but it's a really intense section. Because there's like one bit where you're literally stuck you're like in a lift, and he comes in the lift with you, and you're like literally like a few feet away from him, and he stands like next to the button, so you have to very carefully creep up next to him and push the button.
Oh, sure.
And sort of duck back. That's a really intense section. But yeah, there's only one bit I think in the game where I thought I was screwed. I basically got into a firefight. Combine. I managed to take him down, but as I was sort of like scavenging the area, this other massive guy came out, and he was like, well, like they're heavy, and he's like all his big arm one. They're quite tough, and he's got like, this shotgun that can basically take me out in a couple of hits.
Yeah.
So I managed to dodge past him and go like down like this apartment block, and I was in a stairwell, and my choice was either up or down. I chose down. That was a mistake because downstairs led to a dead end.
Oh. Whoops.
And he was in up above, but he couldn't, for complicated reasons, he couldn't get down to me because I see something gone his way. He couldn't get past it. So I'm downstairs, and I've got literally like probably about a clip worth of ammunition left for my combine assault rifle. And he can't get down to me, but that's all I've got left. So I'm sort of down there thinking, shit. And that took me quite a few attempts because I literally had to, if he got one, because I've been injured as well, if he literally got one shot on me, I was dead.
Oh, wow.
So I'd sort of sneak my way up the stairs backwards and sort of like dodge out, and every shot had to count because I didn't have that many ammunition. I had to get all in his head just to kill him so I'd get out. And that was intense. I thought I was going to lose. So I thought I've got to go back to like a checkpoint earlier on. Mm-hmm. It does a great feel of combat because combat you have to sort of think about, when you're out in the open and combat's happening, you've got things from your direction, you are constantly sort of looking around, looking for cover and ducking down. Now, this thing I will find, which I don't know if you found this, Skazz, is I'm getting quite old. And crouching down behind cover is quite a mission now. It's like, instead of sort of ducking and diving, it's more like, okay, here we go, I'm going down now. I'm down now. I ain't getting up again.
Well,
I'm here now.
I mean, because here's the trick: is I've got a bum leg as well. But I will say that kind of ducking behind objects is the thing that made me realize that VR was really cool.
Yeah,
because it's not, and so because of all those chest high walls in loads of games, I was like, yeah, but there's nothing quite like actually having to physically duck.
Take
behind
cover.
To hide behind a wall or an object. Because I was playing Super Hot when I first did it, and I was like, how am I supposed to get out of this? I'm just going to get shot. I was like, oh, hang on a minute, there's a wall here. Well, I'll just duck behind the wall, put my arm over the wall, and shoot them from over the wall. And it's fantastic.
Really cool. That's the really cool thing. In fact, you can just like pull your gun, just blind fire over a wall. That's the sort of way, and like you can sort of like lean around corners.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the cool part. Yeah, that's making a whole body controller.
It's remembering that you can do it.
Yes, but yeah, crouch down is a bit of a problem. Like once I'm crouched down, I stay there for as long as I can.
You have your Zimmer frame there. You got your care assistant there with a hoist to bring you back up.
Yeah, so help me out, love. Find it out. Yeah, right. Oh, get back up. But yeah, so I've other little neat little features of Half-Life. I came across what I thought a building site, and I picked up a builder's hat.
Oh, there you go.
Hat on my head, and I popped the hat on my head. I thought, hey, that's a neat little Easter egg thing. That's fun. And do you remember the barnacles from Half-Life? The things that Harold seen that stuck their tongue down?
Yes.
And made it pick stuff up. So I was walking through, and I missed one. I just heard that it was this barnacle. I panicked, looked up, and he grabbed my hat.
Yeah.
I was like, so that's why you can put the hat on. It's basically a what little like, okay, we've saved your life this time type jobby.
Yeah, just pay more attention next time.
Yeah. It's just so good. It's just the little things like, you know, you can just pick up, you know, you just walk up to. I did try and put a head crab on, that didn't work. But I did just when I used to find a barnacle, I'd find a head crab, pick up both hands, like hold up to the barnacle, and feed to the barnacle.
So, would you say it's you know, it was worth the wait? Would you say? It was, you know, would you say this is like a must-have game for VR? Would you say it's a game that if people were on the fence for VR, would you say just get it, try it?
I would say if you like, I would definitely say it's a system seller game.
Sure.
For lack of a better term, it's a system seller game.
So VR now finally has that heavy hitter game. I
think so, and it's not surprising. It's just like Valve come along and do it. So I know people I tend to sing Valve's praise, but apart from there's been a couple of duds, most of the stuff is pretty solid.
They're in the market of selling an incredibly high-end headset. So realistically we need, you know, high-end games to go with it. And a lot of the VR games I've played are like, you know, PS1 games.
Yeah.
You know, the quality of the AI is thick as a post. You know, moving around is janky. Graphics are quite janky. You know, none of the games that I've really played have been like, yes, this is something that I really need to have a headset for. I couldn't imagine playing this on like an Xbox or something. But Half-Life Alyx, you know, they've built it around their incredibly expensive headset. Yeah. So,
although ironically, someone has made a mod that means you can play it now on a mouse and keyboard.
Oh, really?
Yeah, someone has done that.
Oh, fantastic!
I don't know how good it is, but someone has done it. That's what PC gamers do.
Yeah, for sure.
Someone's probably made a mod that allows you to play it, you like using a xylophone. You know,
why not?
so there's someone out there who said, "Oh, I'm going to play Half-Life using the piano." It's yeah. But yeah, no, it's definitely it's Valve don't tend to rush their games, and
Valve time.
Yeah. And it's took them. I mean, Half-Life. I said VR. I suspect that I'd be amazed if this wasn't like on the cards for a long time. They've been doing this for quite some time.
Yeah.
And they want to get it right.
Yeah.
They want to get it, you know, spot on, as it were, as much as possible. There's a reason. And the hype. I was like I'd heard a lot of good things about it, and I was sort of like wanting to get it, really want to play it, but at the same time, I was like, it's going to be as good. But I was really pleased with the result. I've really enjoyed it. I'll be honest with you. After this, I want to almost go back and play all the Half-Lives through from scratch again.
Sure,
that's where I want to do that all over again. Whether I've got like 50 hours of my life to give away to playing all the Half-Life games from scratch.
You can do it, Ram. You can do it.
Yeah, I did it once. I've done it several times actually. Half-Life played through. I can't remember how many times I played Half-Life 1 through. Probably at 4 or 5.
There you go. Do it again. Do it
again. I know the tricks this time. I'll speed run it.
Magnetic ladders.
Yeah, I like magnetic ladders. I get annoyed when I have to press a button to climb up a ladder. Oh, the ladder climbing is brilliant in this as well. Because you walk up to, again, depending on what movement mode you got. So in like teleportation movement mode, you just walk up to a ladder and a little progress bar. It's basically like magnetic ladders, but it's like a little progress bar before you go up.
Right.
So you don't accidentally go up. So you don't like brush land, you're instantly up it. You have to like wait like sort of probably about a second and then you'll go up. If you ain't got that mode, you have to go up the ladder and you have to like unequip your weapon because you need both hands.
Yeah.
And put one hand on and you have to sort of climb up the ladder.
Okay, that's clever.
That's cool. And
attention
sort of
to detail.
Yeah. But you can still equip one if you need to. So if you get to the top of the ladder, you sort of poke your head at the top, there's a combine there. You equip the weapon in your hand, lean up and then shoot them.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. Weapons stick in your hand. You can't lose your weapons. Once they're equipped, they're in your hand. You can't lose them.
Okay.
It's got a lovely torch mechanic as well. So your torch gets put on your other hand or left hand.
Yeah.
Or opposite hand of what you're playing. So you have one hand for your torch, one for your weapons. So when you're like pitch black, you'll fight your enemies in pitch black. You have to like almost use a torch. But if you pull your torch, your other hand near your left hand near your right hand, in game will actually cut the weapon properly and hold it properly.
Mm-hmm.
And so you actually are encouraged to almost hold your controls like you're holding a proper weapon.
Yeah.
Because your brace point, I know it means like your torch should be pointed directly lined up with your weapon, so it's really easy to shoot and aim. It's lots of little things they thought about.
Yeah.
Little bits of attention to detail they thought about it, and they put it in, and some of the physics are amazing. I mean, you pick up a bottle of wine and you can actually move it around, and the liquid moves around inside it.
Yeah.
And it moves around realistically. And you can it's so much little detail on it. It's an absolutely phenomenal game. I mean, as you probably tell, I'm raving about it. I loved it. So
I'm glad you liked that. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
No, I've really loved it. Yeah. So
fantastic.
Right. So Skazz, I believe you have something else to talk about.
Yeah. It's really, I was just thinking about a little challenge. Because so recently the Oculus Quest 2 was announced. And I know loads of people are crying right now because they've just gone out and bought Rift S's, and Oculus have just said
I think anyone who'd be doing that. No.
And Oculus have now said they're binning off the Rift line of headsets.
Yeah, and let's bring out the Quest, which is £100 cheaper.
£100 cheaper, allows you to tether onto your PC. Better displays, are they not? There you go. So, a little bit salty there, right?
Salty? I'd kill 1 million slugs. There's so much salt in here, if it was full of water, you'd float.
There you go. There you go. I mean, let's be fair. You've got a good headset.
Well, yeah, it's not like come January my headset's going to switch off.
No, for sure.
So it's good for the next. It's good. It's good enough. I'm not worried about it upgrading it. I'm not going to upgrade it. I'm not got any plans to upgrade it anytime soon.
Mm-hmm. I will say I'm not a huge fan of the fact that now Oculus Connect is now Facebook Connect, and you are now required to have a Facebook account to log in to new Oculus devices.
That's quite bullshit, but
because I actually
not surprising.
No, of course, but I actually paired my Facebook account with my Oculus account, and I actually went full name on this one because I was like, look, if I use my other name, it actually specifically states that if they for any reason decide they're going to close my Facebook account, they can restrict access to all the games that I've purchased.
Oh, that's a bit shit.
Yeah, so I was like, look, I'm not taking my chances. Like, let's say I buy a bunch of games on a Quest 2, because they are literally locked into the Oculus store and thus tied to my Facebook account. If I get booted out of Facebook or booted off Facebook, I lose access to all my VR games.
That is absolutely shit, because there's no reason to do that.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that if I want to play socially in VR through Oculus, I have to have my Facebook account paired up. And it annoyed... Do you know what really fucking irked me, actually, about setting up my Facebook account with Oculus? Just a little side bit. Is that I can't hide my Facebook account name.
Right.
So, I go by Sk4zzi0us pretty much everywhere. Right?
Yeah,
my Facebook account uses my birth name. Right?
I thought your birthday was Sk4zzi0us.
Well, there you go. The more you know. But I can hide it from everyone else. So I can say, like, don't show people my Facebook account name unless they're, like, my friends, or I can hide it from everyone. And I can say, like, on your headset, what do you want to do? Like, allow so only I can see it. But the problem is, if you then go to live stream... your name's right there.
Is it in a floating box as well? As it's not plastered like in the corner of the screen? It's in a floating box.
It's right there. It's right there on the top corner of your main Oculus interface when you bring up the main menu.
So you can't put a. You can't put.
No, you can't just you can't
blur
use
it
this
out
to censor it. So a little bit annoying, guys. Like, just give me the option to just hide it, because they give you the option to not allow people to search for it.
Yeah.
So just allow.
They obviously didn't have streaming in mind, did they, when they thought about that?
Even though streaming's built into the interface.
Yes, but that's because you stream to Facebook, because you'd be using to your Facebook account, wouldn't you? So people would know it already.
But it just seems really silly. And a lot of people have actually said, well, if I'm in VR chat and I'm doing whatever in VR chat, I don't want people to know my actual name because obviously I'm role playing or whatever. And it's like, I can kind of get people's beef there. They don't
trolling. You're trolling
for sure, but you don't want necessarily your family and friends to know that you're dicking around in online weeb simulator.
Yeah,
so
it turns you go into a VR chat and you've been this person in your VR chat that you've been doing a bit of like sort of sexting for the last 4 weeks. And you find it's your mum.
Yeah, there you go. Surprise!
That'd be terrible.
Surprise! But yeah, so minor beef of having to add in a Facebook account, but it's a Facebook product. The only other options you've got are the HTC Cosmos and the Valve Index.
So, very expensive.
And I was gonna say the Quest 2 is like £300. So
that's silly price. That's such a cheap price.
Yeah, and that's what 4K display.
Yeah. Well, it's better than what I've got.
Yeah. Full. Is it? I can't remember. Is it inside out tracking or whatever?
Inside out tracking.
Fully wireless if you want. You can wire it up if you want. They think that they may even have a completely wireless PC play mode as well in the future.
Yeah. If they can, it's all about the data, right? It's getting the data through quick enough to display it.
Yeah. So it's pretty hardcore for the price.
It's been sort of the goal really of VR headsets as if SK was be cableless, because the cable is the big bugbear of VR, as you say, really, because you have to constantly every so often do that little dance where you sort of turn around the wrong way to get the cable out of the way.
I have that. I'll occasionally step on the cable, and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I really don't want to break.
Yeah, I'm just going to turn around counterclockwise for a second, just to unravel the cable from myself.
I've done that a few times in like ATEC, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh crap, I can't turn anymore. And I'm stood there, and all of a sudden my character stood in the middle of the room, just going, just spinning around on the spot. It's like, okay, fair enough. But yeah, it does worry me though that if you're having to use like a USB-C cable on the Quest 2 to connect it up to your PC, last thing you want to do is rip that out of your headset.
No,
because that's I don't imagine that's not gonna lock onto the headset or anything, is it? So, last thing you want to do is break the cable that also or the port that charges the device and does all the data transfer and other magic.
I mean, because also you could do it the previous Quest, and have there been lots of issues with it in the previous Quest?
I don't know, but then it was angled differently on the previous Quest as well.
I suspect that if you were saying, I mean, I've not pulled the cable. I've always sort of been conscious of it there, so I imagine if you're conscious of it, you'd be all right. Like I said, if they could find a way that they could stream. And we say it's 4K. It's effectively 4K twice because you've got two 4K, one for each eye, effectively. So if you could effectively stream 8K, effectively, through a wireless connection, and then your inputs back seamless, with no delay. If you could find a way to do that, that's really the holy grail of VR. Because then you're completely wireless. You don't have to talk about cables. That would be the game changer. That's what it needs. I think I'm not sure. I don't know if there's enough. I'm assuming at this point there's probably enough in the white channel. There's probably enough bandwidth to do it, because I'm not sure. It depends how you encode it, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
There might be enough bandwidth to do it.
They allowed you to, I believe, with the Oculus Quest 1, you could actually tether it up to your PC using USB 2. And the data rate there ain't huge.
No, but you are dealing with low resolution. Because that's the thing, it's all about the resolution. It's all about how big that image is. It's got the send. For
sure, but the Oculus are doing some magic jiggery-pokery compression with that. 'Cause, I mean, normally they sell a USB 3C cable, and they're like, well, actually, we didn't really need to give you a 3C cable. You could have just used a USB 2 cable, because we're only using like 150 megabits the entire way.
Then your next bottleneck is obviously then how quickly, because if it's got to render the image, then encode it to then transmit it to the headset, to then display it to you, then decode it so it can display it to you. That's obviously another step in the process. You could get some lag there.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see I think it's doable.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there are definitely some challenges there. They need to think of a good way of obviously rapidly compressing this.
Yeah.
Because it's not like you can have a buffer to compress it. If you're recording, we do recordings part of our and we do live stream. It doesn't matter if it's 4 or 5 seconds behind you.
No, of course not.
No, but if you're playing the game, it's got to compress it, transmit it, receive it, decompress it.
I've played on a Quest tethered to a computer.
Oh, have you now?
It is noticeable.
It is.
Even like using a USB 3 cable, it's noticeable.
Yeah. Which is not surprising because you're out there connecting via USB, not via an actual graphics card output.
Mm-hmm. But clever. It's clever. And I've had a whack at using a Quest wirelessly. Like in the standalone mobile whatever mode. Fucking fantastic, mate.
Oh, I bet it is.
Absolutely fantastic. Versus just picking it up, putting it on your head and swinging stuff around is fantastic. Versus, get your headset, tether it up to your computer, do this, do that. Now you're good to go.
Particularly if you're having to unplug it every time and so forth. I don't know if you've got yours set up permanently now.
I've now got mine. Well, I had mine anchored up to my PC, but my PC's giving me no end of chip at the moment. So I am tempted just to bag it and I'll get it out whenever I need to.
I'm quite lucky because I've got mine doesn't move and it's all turned up. I don't need to, so I'm quite lucky because it doesn't take me very. I literally can just put it on and go.
Yeah, for sure.
Clear the play space and go.
But neat tech. Neat tech. Now, I've got a little bit of a challenge for you, Ram. So during the Facebook Connect event, old Mr. Carmack was like, "Hey mate, I use VR for my exercise routine every day," and I always hear people talking fluff about, oh yeah, like when VR first came out, can you realistically use VR to manage weight and health? And I thought that was complete and utter bollocks, to be honest with you. Because I'd at the time I'd only played stuff like A-Tech and Robo Recall and some other bits and bobs. And I was like, there's no way you're going to be able to have a decent cardio session in VR. And then
Robo Recall's quite intense.
I didn't find it that bad. But then I got told to try Beat Saber and is it Box VR? They've got a mobile free version for your Quest as well. I think that's called like Fit XR or something like that. I was told to try those, and I'll tell you something, mate. After a few minutes, you feel it, and I was in shock. I was in absolute shock. So, here's a trick. We both have VR headsets. Mm-hmm. We've both weighed in. Right?
Yep.
I pose a challenge that over the next 2 podcasts, we see if we can lose a little bit of weight playing VR. Say 30 minutes a day. See how practical it is to maybe jump into some Beat Saber. Maybe say to people like, "Hey, this is what we're doing. This is what we're playing. This is how long we played for." And did you work up a sweat? Was it just a moderate chill game that you just kind of
What'll be interesting is I've got obviously my Apple Watch obviously monitors my heart rate.
Yeah.
So I'll be interested to see what happens when I'm doing VR.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, are we going to tell people our starting stats?
Yeah, I'll go for it. I've got mine written down here.
Well, shall we go for metric?
Fuck. Go on. Go for yours.
No, you go first.
No, go on, Ram. Go on.
Well, I'm 130.9 kilos.
130.9. I am 66 kilos.
Now, just to put into terms that we can all understand, you weigh approximately the same as a Clin U sheep, and I weigh about the same as a Suffolk Ram. So we can put us into process. Everybody knows where we are now, don't they? So everybody can understand that.
There you go. And everyone's like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Yeah. Particularly if someone tries to Google clean you sheet because it's not spelled how you think it is.
So, because I thought it was interesting because you said how when you were playing Half-Life Alyx, actually having to maneuver about was a bit like, oh, I'm an old man now. Do you have anything that you could use to kind of run about or thrash about?
What game wise?
Yeah.
I've only got I've only got a small Robo Recall, which is probably what one that used to give me the most heart attack. Because there's quite a lot of docking and diving in that, which I found is actually the sort of hard part.
Yeah.
I probably got a few games. I want to look up and see what I can find.
This is gonna be interesting because I am genuinely curious to see if we get reasonable results. We're not gonna. I'm gonna say right now, not gonna go hardcore like saying let's change our diets and do this and do that. It's just literally
Does the VR make a difference?
Yeah. Can you get a decent cardio session in just playing some VR stuff?
Yeah.
Is there actual, could you literally say during lockdown, do you want to have some, do you want to do a fun cardio session rather than going, you know what, I'm going to stand here and jog on the spot for half an hour and look at my bedroom wall. Can you actually have some fun and exercise at the same time?
Yeah, I could see actually, even just like if you play a game that was basically like just an environment game where you could just wander about. If you were just jogging on the spot and you just moved about, so like you could just say, well, today I went for a walk on Mars.
Yeah. Well, can you remember when...
it's like I could go and walk down the local park, but no, I went for a walk. I decided to walk around, Paris town centre.
Yeah, why not? I mean, because do you remember when we first started talking about the Rift back when it was still in the development kit stages, and we were like, one of the first things that they were like, oh, Skyrim VR, how cool it would be, and I hate Skyrim, but how cool it would be if we had like a Rift and the Omni, which was the treadmill. How rad would that be to just go, you know what, exercise time, let's go for a fucking run in Skyrim.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see, can VR make a difference? I'm sure loads of people have done it, loads of people have tried it, but I'm interested to see if it would make a difference for us. And then, do we find any are there any complications we have? Any things that we'd change? I just figured I'd kind of pose that because I was doing a fitness challenge with one of my mates recently as part of my daily vlog, but as soon as I've stopped doing the daily vlog, well, the fitness challenge went right out the fucking window. So I figured I'd kind of throw it in now that we've got the VR gimmick to play with.
So I just looked up the Omni.
Yeah.
So Omni still exists, believe it or not.
I've seen variants of the Omni.
Yeah. So, however, they only now do like whole arenas. You can't buy just one for yourself.
Oh.
So I was curious to see if they still existed, and if you could still buy like one just for yourself.
I've seen an equivalent for about 600 quid.
Yeah. Because be able to, what I really want to do is, you've seen Ready Player. You've obviously read the book. You've just seen the film Ready Player One, where he has an omnidirectional walk treadmill.
Yeah,
that's what you want.
Yeah,
that wherever direction you go, and you can run every direction you go, but you're like sort of tethered into the middle, so you can't actually go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And that'd be neat.
Yeah, for sure, that'd be amazing. That and full body tracked VR, so like you can track your legs and.
I tell you something, Skazz. The amount of times when I've been playing Half-Life Alyx, when the head crabs jump near me, I've tried to stomp them.
That would be amazing. Could you imagine? They track your legs too.
I want to get 2 more touch claws and strap them to my legs so I can literally stomp things as they come near. Because the amount of time I tried to kick through a glass pane today.
Oh, fantastic.
So there's a glass pane. I tried to kick it through. That ain't going to work.
I've seen some games actually have full body tracking. Because you can buy some pucks and things that you can actually attach to your legs.
Yeah, it's basically it's perfectly doable.
Mm-hmm.
sort of motion. Because let's face it, I've done motion tracking for years, so it's perfectly doable. But I would like to see that. I could see being sort of perhaps the next thing from perhaps adding in as an optional extra. Oh, you can now strap like these shin pads to your legs. That means it can now track your legs.
Have you seen all the haptic stuff they're doing now as well? Like jackets and that you can wear with vibration motors in them.
That'd be quite cool. Yeah.
I can just imagine, I could just imagine you now setting up a VR room with a haptic suit.
I would wire up to an electric fence energizer, and every time I got shot, it would just actually just pass a sort of shock through me.
Fuck it. Do you know what? I can just imagine if you did that. You had that wired slightly wrong. You get zapped, and you fucking you get shot, and you fly like fucking 6 foot back. Your parents are like, what the hell's happening there?
Imagine, those games where when you die, the enemies keep shooting you. So imagine you forget to program that out. So when you die, you're just
laying there on the floor, like trying to quit.
Yeah. Where's the reset button?
It's like all of a sudden you get this random text from Ram. You're like, what? Quick, we've got to get him out of his VR. That'd be fantastic. So, yeah, are you up for that? So, in 2 weeks' time, we'll update people. Would you say half an hour a day is reasonable?
I'll go for half an hour today. Whether I'll make it on the first day, I'll try.
Well, should we say we'll work our way up to it, and we'll just kind of describe the process as we go.
You get to find out how unfit I am.
That's going to be fantastic because I ain't exactly in great shape. My aim is to, I can't remember what it is in kilos, but I want to get down to about 135 pounds. I'm 145 now.
I shall tell you what that would be. 135 pounds. Kilos, you need to be about 61 kilos. So you've got 5 kilos to lose.
Fantastic. That's where I want to be. That's how much I weighed when I got to my wedding in February, and then I put all the weight back on.
So according to medical science, I should weigh about 90 kilos, which is about 14 stone. Right. I think that's a bit low for me, 14 stone.
Mate, you're quite built in the grand scheme. I mean, you're a tall motherfucker.
I think 15, 16 stone is more realistic for what I should be, which is about 100 kilos.
Sure.
So I probably need to lose about 30 kilos.
I mean, what would you say? Just set a goal to say, over the next couple months, say you could lose a couple kilos just for a laugh?
Yeah, I mean, I think 30 kilos over a month would just be not practical. You wouldn't do it. So, yeah, I mean, just a few kilos would do. I'm not sure how much you can practically lose in a week. But yeah, if I just lose 10 kilos.
I think they guesstimate that you can lose around, or they say, health-wise, you should only aim for about 2 pounds a week. Ish.
That's about 4 kilos. I think. Oh no, that's only a kilo. It's about a kilo. Yeah, I always go the other one way round. I can remember if it's 2 pounds to a kilo, 2 kilos to a pound. I
think it's about 2.5 pounds to a kilo. I think.
Yeah, I always get the off way round. For someone who has to deal with meat, and selling meat in pounds and kilos, that's not a good thing. But they went about a kilo a week, which, to be fair, I'm not sure how you know it's a kilo a week because that. Just natural variance, I reckon you must vary by about a kilo a week.
I was actually told that, the human body... Who was it that said it to me? I was talking to someone quite recently.
Let's face it, if I poo first thing before taking the weighing scales, I'll probably be down by a kilo.
Well, that's what someone said to me. They said your body over the course of a day can fluctuate anywhere between 2 and 9 pounds. I was like, fucking hell.
I can believe that, though, because you think, if you have a day where you get up, you eat your breakfast, you eat your lunch, you eat your tea, but you don't go to you don't push out the other end. Well, all that way the food's gone somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's got to go into it's either expelled as, heat, because it gets converted to energy, and which basically that's where everything eventually becomes heat eventually, or gets left as weight. So, if you eat a quarter pound of burger, you should weigh a quarter pound or more. Mm-hmm. So it's broken down. So I can believe that. Although 2 to 9 pounds sounds a bit excessive. I could believe 2 pounds, but 9 pounds is 4 kilos away. I find a bit excessive. Mm-hmm. That's like a litre water weighs a kilo. So it's like that's like 2 litre bowls of drink a day in weight. Mm-hmm. I find that a little bit. I mean, I suppose if you didn't go to the loo at all, and you've been drinking, I could see it, but. that seems a little bit excessive. But I'm
Sure.
as you can tell, Skazz, I'm such a fitness freak over here.
You are a
I
fitness
can't
freak.
be
Compared to
I
me,
can't
mate,
be
you are
sure.
ripped as fuck.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not,
he is. He is. He's fucking, like, I'm telling you, Ram, you're fucking...
I am not ripped. Trust me, I've got bosoms. I am not ripped.
Yeah, but so have I, mate.
I'm at least a D cup over here.
I was going to say, I'm married. I'm the biggest bitch you know.
Yeah, I've got a pot belly and bosoms. So, yeah.
So, you know, there you go. This is the challenge, you know. This is the groove. I was going to say, now, should we put an article on Round Nerds with weigh-in pictures?
I want to drop a bra size.
Is that it? You're gonna have a cup reduction.
Yeah, I want to drop a bra size, and I'll be happy.
There you go, fantastic. It's like he's not talking about, you know, losing a few inches on his waist. It's like, nah, mate, I need to drop my bra size.
Yeah. Well, if we're going to do this properly, we need to say to ourselves, right? We need to wear ourselves like either first thing in the morning or last thing at night.
Mm-hmm.
No, to be consistent about it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter which one you do, as long as you do it consistently every day.
Yep.
And then we can sort of like
wear the same kit as
it.
you're weighing into, or roughly the same kit every time as well.
Well, again, if you do it first in the morning, last thing, like theory, you'll be like wearing your pajamas. Or
mate, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. I could be wearing fucking jeans, t-shirt, hoodie, the whole lot until like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, strip yourself down and weigh yourself. Whatever you need to do to make it consistent.
There you go.
Yeah. Just make sure you've had your morning dump.
I can't weigh myself yet. Why? I need a sheet.
But hey, that all adds up. That all adds up, you know.
See.
But yeah, we do that. I mean, we can at least sort of like get a rough idea of where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right, challenge.
Yeah,
accepted.
we'll give it a go. I'm gonna look at some VR fitness games now.
Should we start it tomorrow? Well, right.
Yeah.
Beat Saber, and I think it's called Box VR. I think there's another one. It's exactly the same as Box VR by the same company, and they have a free version. You can just literally just download it and go. And then they're like, like you can buy DLC packs for like £7 that have more intense exercise and stuff, and all that literally is just like beatboxing.
Beatboxing,
rhythm boxing.
Oh,
like
right,
shadow boxing kind of thing.
Oh, right, okay. Box VR on Steam. Oh, yeah, fix it. Fix. Fit VR. Fit XR, redefining fitness. Yeah, I'll have a look. I'll have a look for them and see what we can get.
See?
So that's a fact.
Challenge accepted. Look, and by the end of it, Ram's going to be fucking ripped. He's going to be like Arnie, just stood there flexing. He's going to say, right, yep, day one, put on my headset, 3 hours of cardio. Fuck yeah, flex.
Yeah.
Steak directly.
He's fucking like sits there fucking eating a steak as he's doing his fucking VR cardio.
If I could just get to the situation where when I bend down, when I kneel, crouch down Half-Life Alyx, I don't go, oh god, every single time.
Just imagine he goes to then play Half-Life Alyx after this challenge, he's backflipping around his room and diving behind the tables.
Yeah. Come at me, motherfuckers.
This will be great. I've got to see it. Ram, get it done, mate. Get it done.
Yeah, we'll start from tomorrow.
Cool. I'm looking forward to this.
We'll see how it goes.
Yo.
Right. So.
That's it.
Anything else from you? Okie dokie. Right. Well, thank you both for joining us this evening. This wonderful, very wet and rainy evening. And I think we can tell winter is coming. Yeah. Do you know, I've realized, Skazz, you know, normally this year we haven't had a podcast where it's been light, as in we've both been in the same room and it's been light outside.
It's been crazy, hasn't it?
Terrible. It's terrible.
Joys of a global pandemic and us being antisocial pricks.
Indeed. So you can join us on our next podcast, either on youtube.com/roundnerds or twitch.tv/roundnerds.
As long as YouTube works on Restream.
As long as YouTube works on Restream. Our next podcast is the 10th of October, 2020, at 9:30 GMT +1. At least for another couple podcasts, and Arrow goes back. Yay!
Way another hour of 2020 I get to live through.
Yay! Arrow goes back. Yeah. We also do you can also visit our website, rannerds.com, which will get you to the website somehow. We also do a games night every Tuesday at approximately 8:30 till 9:30. Depending on what happens.
If you want to hear Ram lose his fucking mind trying to get me and Zaber to be stealthy, it's fantastic.
Like, I did get frustrated. Oh, for fuck's sake, guys, who threw the grenade?
Nothing doing me this time.
No, you upstairs flirting with the chap's wife, I think.
Oh, damn it.
So you
Hello,
can,
darling. Pew,
yeah,
pew, she's dead.
So that isn't broadcast to the Random Show. That's broadcast to our personal Twitch channel. So you can see mine at twitch.tv/TheSuffolkRam, and Skazz is at
twitch.tv/Skazzius. Sk4zzi0us.
because he's awkward.
Yeah.
So yes. Also, we were discussing potentially doing, because we're getting towards Halloween.
Yes.
We might do something for Halloween, and I have picked up for both of us a VR co-op game.
Fantastic.
Yes, so I thought that'd be cool. A little VR Halloween stream. Have to work out to do chat and stuff, but I think we can do that'd be quite cool.
It's gonna be neat.
We'll have to do some tests well before that to make sure that works.
Yes, like hardcore testing. It's like, is this even gonna work? Nah.
Yeah.
So at the rate my PC's going, does it even boot?
I can just see that as the zombie horde's about to break through the final door, you disappear.
It just like starts, like my character starts having a seizure on the floor, then disappears. It's like,
Skazz, no, don't leave me, Skazz. Save me. There nearly is, Skazz. Don't. Oh, he's dropped.
He's gone.
There's that scene as I turn towards like the imaginary camera. It just sort of like zooms in on my horrified face, and it fades to black as you hear the door break down and screaming zombies.
Isn't it fantastic?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing that too.
And then about 5 minutes later, you pop back into the game, and it's just like mangled corpse on the floor.
It was like all the zombies are dead too. It was like, but oh wait, Ram's dead. Oh well, I'll just step over all the corpses and walk through the door. Well, that wasn't too bad.
And then next you see is mission complete.
It's like, yes, nailed it. First try.
Yeah. Skazz won, no deaths.
It's like, shit. Well, unlike what happened in Payday, right at the end, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Blue screen. No points for me. None. 0. Zip. I don't even think I got the fucking achievement for finishing the mission.
You got, I think actually gameplay wise, I think you were in it for about the game lasts about 45 minutes, of which you were in it for about 5 minutes actually counted.
I was like, I was infuriating.
Yeah. That was, I tell you, when we lost you, and it's just me and Zaber, I was like, shit, shit's got real, Zaber. Shit's got real.
You better start paying attention, son.
Because it's like, if either of us go down, this could be it if either of us go down. And bless him, he was upstairs, and I was like downstairs, like printing the money, because I couldn't figure out how to get out the game. Because the truth was, we printed a batch of money, because you had to basically print money. We printed a batch of money, then we couldn't figure out how to leave.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, we've done enough, and we couldn't work out to leave. So they said, "Oh, perhaps we print some more money." So we did. Then we got to start a whole new cycle. Now, and while I was doing that, I was quickly just googled on my phone, "How do I get out of this mission in Payday?" And it turns out you had to pick up the printing reel. And if we'd done that, we'd have got straight out.
Oh, there you go.
So that was a good game. But yeah, you'll be able to watch that on Monday at 6:30. There'll be the video that will be put up on the YouTube channel.
And then you can watch live the next day as we're all pulling our hairs out.
Yeah. So you can watch live, or you can watch the edited highlights.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So once again, thank you for watching up in the TheSuffolkRam.
Skazzius.
And we'll see you always in a fortnight.
Fantastic. Fan-fucking-tastic. Bye.
Bye.